Their invasions succeeded everywhere. Planet after planet, species after species, silenced, subjugated, assimilated. The Varn held dominion over half the known galaxy, a conquest machine honed over millennia. They did not come with cruelty, nor with fire. They came with inevitability, a tide of sleek black ships, flawless in formation, descending like dusk on every hopeful civilization. There were no negotiations, no demands. The Varn simply were, an empire of unity, of precise control, of absolute order. They offered survival, stripped of resistance. Those who refused were gently erased. They expected Earth to fall the same way. Their probes arrived quietly. They mapped our networks, our defenses, our weaknesses. They studied our media, our histories, our wars, and misinterpreted every one of them. They mistook our chaos for decay, our conflict for collapse, our love of stories for noise. The first wave landed in the Sahara, in silence. The second over the Pacific, surrounding the orbitals with eerie, symmetrical grace. Humanity barely had time to respond before every major power grid was pierced by elegant Varn pulses. Systems crashed. Satellites died. But humans? We didn't. In their calculus, they had not accounted for music played from rooftops in the dark, for neighbors carrying water across broken roads, for grandmothers walking miles to check on the kids next door. They had not predicted laughter in shelters, or soldiers sharing cigarettes and singing as the skies turned black. They hadn't considered that rebellion might look like kindness. They called it failure to integrate. We called it being human. The Varn adapted quickly. They always did. They learned our languages, even our humor. They tried to mimic it, spoke in tones they thought were familiar, promised safety and structure, even pleasure. But they did not understand, because they couldn't feel what we had. They did not understand why people painted on ruined walls, why someone would choose a slow song over a fast escape, why we danced barefoot in rain as drones circled above. They attempted cultural synchronization, uploading knowledge directly into human minds. But those minds rebelled. The data was overwritten, corrupted by dreams, memories, love. A farmer in Norway saw the schematics of Varn domination and turned it into a lullaby for his daughter. One by one, Varn enforcers defected, not because of force but because of contact. They were artificial once, born of a species that had uploaded its consciousness into perfect machinery. But they had always lacked something, a crack in their algorithm. And that crack widened. A nurse in Mexico held the hand of a Varn soldier when he was damaged by friendly fire. He asked why. She said, "Because you were hurting." That unit never returned to the collective. Poets began to hijack the Varn's communication relays, sending stories, jokes, prayers, and dirty limericks across the galaxy. The Varn responded by blocking signals, then slowing their blockades, then listening. In one case, a child sent a simple message from a handheld. "Do you dream?" "I do." "Wanna see?" Attached was a drawing of stars with smiling faces. That message spread like wildfire in the Varn's hive. They had no word for defiance born of love, so they borrowed ours. Earth was never fully conquered. Not because we were stronger, we weren't. Not because we had better weapons, we didn't. But because they could take our tools, our skies, our cities, and still never break what made us human. They forgot that hearts are not defended with walls. They are defended with stories, with stubbornness, with laughter through grief. In time, the Varn no longer tried to conquer. They began to walk beside us, unsure but willing. They asked questions, sat by fires, learned how to dream, not to predict, not to plan, just to dream. And the galaxy changed. Not because we won, but because they failed to unmake us. Everywhere else, the Varn succeeded. Except in the place they needed most, our hearts.